Hello gamers, it's Soft Kitty 99 back at the garage with Bunker House, and at the end of the last episode I logged off saying I was going to place in lots of storage items for the preppers. So we've placed toilet rolls and first aid kits and lots of different things. So we've got storage, we've got toilet rolls, we've got lots of water bottles and water and soup and nuts and pickles and jars of all sorts of things. We've got meatballs and tuna and organic food and tomatoes and chickpeas and macaroni and rice and all sorts of stuff. So we've got all the supplies that they wanted down here in this storage room. Beautiful. Hello, storage room. And we have our generator, our fuel for our generator, and some gas cylinders for us to use for cooking and things. So I think we could use a little bit of a decorate on this end. So let's change the walls just to be something a little bit less grey and nasty looking. So why don't we use paint? Why don't we just use something? Well, I could just go for boring white or beige or something, couldn't we? Let's go for white because this is just a tiny little room and we don't want it to feel closed in and small. So I think white might just help open the space up that little bit, because these grey tiles everywhere is just too much, especially if you're going to be trapped in a space for a long time. So we've got beige walls in the, no, cream walls in the little storage area, and I'm going to put white over here so it feels bright and open and fresh. And then in the living area we'll have a pale colour of some sort just to stimulate the senses a little bit, because if you're trapped you don't want to feel trapped, and all that monotonous grey everywhere I think does give you that feeling of being trapped, which is just not going to be a nice feeling, is it? If you've only got a tiny amount of space, and this bunker is quite small, you need it to feel bigger than it is. So let's paint around the edges of the doors. Right, so have I painted everything? Double check we've painted everything. Yes, we've painted everything. I do want to change the flooring as well, I think, because that grey is just too much. Right, so we want floor tiles please, and I want something in a white or maybe a utilitarian colour. Should we go for pale white? Let's go for plain white. Let's go for plain white. It might be a little monotonous, but I do think that it's going to work better. Is that too white? It might be too much white, to be honest. It might just be too much white. No, we don't want to demolish. That is a lot of white actually. I think we want to put something on the wall to make it look different. So could we I know putting a painting or something in here is just going to look completely silly, but because the whole thing is so white and boring, I think we need something to break up that monotony. So a big picture. How about a painting of a big dirt road? Just so that there's something to look at, so that the whole place isn't just so much of the same bland everything, yeah? That actually isn't a bad little room for the entrance to your bunker, and you've got something to look at that's a little bit different on the wall rather than all that expanse of white. So I do quite like that idea. Next, I think if we look at the bathroom, so we're going to want to make sure that we can fit in our fixtures and fittings, so I'm going to unscrew everything. And then we need to give it a freshen for the colour, because all this grey, it's just too much grey. Right, so let us floor tile. Now let's think. How about a completely different colour? Let's make the floor blue. Water blue. See, that's just too predictable, isn't it? Water and blue. But I do quite like the idea. Oh no, we don't want to build walls. That's silly. So we now want walls, and I think we're going to tile again. And I think, how about if I use the pale blue, or is that just going to be too much? We could use the aqua on the walls, but it might overpower a little bit. How about light blue? That might work. The light blue. Do we have a light blue in? Do you know, a light blue in this would, a multicolour blue in this style would be so cool. But I don't think there is one, is there? No. Well, there's this one. Would that be too much? Would that be overbearing? Or would that work? Is that too many different shades of blue? Or would we be better with the bigger tile, the open tile? The light. Do you know, I think that might be better. Let's try that on the wall and see what it looks like. It's going to be a pale blue. Yeah, because that could then contrast with the... If you've got too many different sizes of tiles, I think it will just be a little bit too overbearing, especially if you were stuck with it for a long period of time. So I think what I'd like to do is use this pale blue on the wall. Like so. Let's do the end. And then let's rotate. And, oops, it was trying to save, so it couldn't quite manage to put it on the wall at the same time. There we go. The good thing about this game is that it saves regularly, so if something goes wrong, you usually lose very, very little of your progress. In fact, I don't think I've ever had it crash, actually, which is really good news. But the fact that it saves so regularly means you wouldn't lose much anyway, even if it did. Yeah, we're going to want more of that, so we'll buy... Oh, actually, do we want to buy many, or... Yeah, I think 2 maybe will do it. Let's go back to the tiling. And continue going around, so... Let's... do the end. Go further up because it keeps interacting with the shower thing. And above the door. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Tiling my bathroom in my bunker. Let's go tiling my bathroom in my bunker. We're making a new song for tiling of bathrooms in bunkers. I think that sounds like a very crazy idea, doesn't it? There we go. Is this becoming a bit too monotonous, do you think? All the way around, all the same, all the time? Too much of the same colour. Too much of the same colour. Can we just change it by adding accents, or are we going to want something a little bit more? Ooh. No, it doesn't like that because that's where the shower fixtures are. So if we go slightly further up the wall, then it's happy to put the tiles in. But if we put it too close to where the fixtures for the shower are, it gets a little bit confused. Right, have we got everything? Yes, we have. So we can sell the last few that we've got there, and then we can think about fixtures for our bathroom. So I think there's still only the one shower. Yes, there's still only the one shower, so that is the shower which we will be putting in, because that is still the only shower available. Hopefully at some later date they will add as a different style of shower, even if the only thing we get is like a corner shower with a circular rounded edge. Now there is a rounded style of shower in at least one of the houses that you can purchase, but you can't actually add one from the inventory, so it'd be kind of nice if there's a version of that was put into the menu for the bathroom fixtures and fittings. That would give us just that little bit more option when we're deciding what we're going to do with our bathrooms. Yes, they've added all these beautiful new basins for your sink options, and lots of new mirrors, so they are adding new things to the game in patches as you go through the year. They are adding new items here and there, so that's really good news. There are updates coming throughout the year. And we know that they're working on a garden update for some time in the year as well. So we want a toilet. Let's use the lower down one so that it looks like we have more space, because it just appears to utilise less space, and possibly is a water conservation one because it doesn't seem to have that much space to put water in. And then for our sink, we could put in the tiny little standard sink, or we could use one of our new versions of the sinks. So let's have a think about this. We could perhaps use something like this, and we've got quite a blue, and I don't think there is anything in like a blue, is it? They're all woods, so I think that the grey version would be the best looking one, I think, for this particular location. And let's attach the pipes, and then we're going to have to clean up the water that's flown onto the floor as we've been attaching things. But luckily we did put down all of our tiling before we did that, so that will all be nicely protected, and we can just wipe it all up, and there we're done. Now we could use a nice mirror. Oh, and we will want to use the toilet roll holder. Let's put that relatively close. And now we want a mirror. Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall. What shall we use? Mirror. I don't think any of them do come with like a blue. But we could have one with like a little lamp above it, which might work quite nicely for in here, and it can be the same colour as the unit, you see. There we go, and then you've got the extra little thing, so you can be using that just where you are stood here. And we will have some little shelves. On the wall. Should we just use the, let's just use the up shelves, and let's think, so we can have, we can actually have that in blue. We could do that in blue. So if we put one here like this, and then come down like half there, like so. See, so he's saying, I'm not going to live here, and she's saying, why is there no furniture? So it is absolutely impossible to please all of these talking heads that want to buy things, because they've got completely opposite ideas about what you should and shouldn't have in your bunker. Now, if you're going to set up your bunker, you are definitely going to want things like soap and stuff, aren't you? Because if you don't, why won't it let me put that? Why won't you let me put that on the shelf? Oh, hang on. Oh, it did almost. Yes. Oh, it did go. It did go. Oh, by many. It will go on the shelf. Oh. It's just a little awkward about the placement. It probably wants me to be higher up in order to place it, which isn't going to work terribly well from my positioning. So maybe I need to be on a shelf, on a step ladder, and go up a bit, maybe. Can I not put you on the... It's a shame it won't let me put it on top of the sink, see? But let me put it on the wall and on the floor, but not on the... Right, toothbrush. And then toothpaste. Balsam. I don't think we want balsam in there. What? Balsam? Balsam? Seriously, balsam? Just kind of... There we go. I'll just have one. So we've got shampoo. Do we not have shower gel? Do we not have shower gel, guys? We've got soap. We've got soap. I suppose soap's the same difference. We've got soap. We have got towels. Now, I wonder if we can pop some towels on top of the... Can I put a stack of these on baby sheep? Oh, bless. No, I don't think we want baby sheep, dear. It's the only blue one, though. Oh, I kind of want blue. I kind of want blue. Can I put that on top of the... Can I stand up on top of the thingy, please, and get it up here? Can I? Can I? Put it on top of the unit, please. Oh, so you could if you could. Oh, no. Go on. Put it up. Can you stand on top of the... Yes. Can we get it? Yes, we can. We can get that. Yes. Right, so now we want a different colour, don't we? So if we have a... no, we don't want red, do we? Do we? Proper bright red, maybe. And then we've got some towels, you see? Ah, there, see, that worked, didn't it? Look, that worked. It worked. There we go. So we've got our little bathroom. I think we could use something to look at as well. So if we pop in a decoration and we think about, we don't want to waste space on plants and things, so we want a picture. And let's have a think about a sunset. And we can put that up there so you can look at it while you're on the toilet. I love it. Can I back up into the corner so you can see the sunset and the... It's a bit difficult, isn't it, to see? But there you go. That is my bathroom area for my bunker, which just leaves us now with this one room. So let's have a think. We are going to need to put something different on the floor space, aren't we? I really think we need to stick, though, with the tiling. And I think the bigger tiles always look better on the floor. So I think we want floor tiles. I would like it to be a little bit more colourful and fun. I think orange would be too bright. We've already got blue in the bathroom. Green. For some reason this dark green just doesn't do anything for me. If they had a paler green, that might be okay. So, is that too pale? That might work. But I do kind of want something bright and cheerful. See, the purple's just too much, isn't it? Is the green going to be too much in a big area? Ooh, which brings us back to blue or green, I think. Will green be too much? Would the green be too much? Let's try it. Will this green be too much, or will it actually work? Is it too much? She says putting it everywhere. Green's a very restful colour, but I'm not sure that that's a restful sort of... It might be too much. Let's have another look at colours. Let's try again. So this I think is too dark, and so is this. Don't like this. This is just too dark. That would be too bright. That's too many little things on you, under your feet when you're going to be walking on it all the time. Grey is boring. That's the one we've tried. White would be too much again, I think. The yellow is not the one that we just used in the spare room over there. The brown is not nice. It just looks dirty. We've already used blue. So I think that's the green is going to be the one that we go for. So walls. Walls. We are going to need to paint. Do we go with a pale green like the young flower bud, or do we make it a contrast? Do we go for something pale and Beautiful. We don't want to go too bright because it would just be too overpowering. See, if we did something like this, it's just too much. Too much, I think. Spring grass might be a little bit too much. I wonder. A lot of these colours would just be too overpowering in the small space that we have. Faded lemon, young flower bud. What colour is the young flower bud? Is that... would that be too much on the walls? I just have a feeling that this flooring is too much. Would it be better to continue the cream through? But then what would we put on the wall? See, I'm having the second thoughts as to whether we've got the right colour now, you see. It's quite intriguing, isn't it, with the what colour would look good. I think perhaps it would just be better to continue the yellow throughout. I just think that green was just too much. That might be a little bit clinical, but I think the green was just far too much. So I think we do want something a little bit different now. Do we continue the cream on the walls, or do we go for something slightly different? Would that be too dark? Would this be too dark for the walls, or would it be quite nice? Is that warm, or is that too much? And then what's the alternative? Grey beige, how's that? That might work. Is that too... How about we put the grey, paler colour there, and then that darker colour. So we have like a feature wall of the darker colour. I actually quite like that colour. I was worried it might be too dark, but I rather like that as a feature wall. Now, is this a suitable colour for the... Actually, that might work. That might work quite well. So I'm going to continue painting this room in the two colours. So we have our big feature wall over there in the darker colour, and then we're going to put the paler colour here. So our darker colour is the delicate cacao, and our paler colour is the grey beige. So I'm going to finish painting this room in these colours, and then in the next episode we will furnish this room and finish off our bunker, and then we will sell the house and see who is interested in purchasing it. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. From Soft Kitty 99, goodbye and happy gaming!